Hey, welcome to my journey. Today's video is part of our garden journey because it's about our pumpkins. We started them from seeds and we've never grown pumpkins, so we didn't know if they would make, if they wouldn't make. We didn't know how many a vine would make. We know anything about pumpkins. I just know when we were at the nursery and I saw sugar pie pumpkin seeds, I told David, I said, I want to grow some of these because I like having a pumpkin in the freezer. Well, we planted them. Every single one of them came up. We planted them in hills. Every hill came up. They vined everywhere. Those pumpkins were beautiful. The vines were beautiful. They went up through the squash. They went all the way through the squash, across the little berry area that you walk, out through the fence into the field. They went down to the side, into the grass. They were everywhere. They started heading up and went through the peas. They were crazy. So we got a bunch of pumpkins. We lost some didn't make it. Some rotted on the vine. Some rotted on the porch. It happens. It's just, I guess, the fact of life. You're not going to get every single pumpkin that makes, but we got a lot. And you will see how much pumpkin I ended up with to go in the freezer. And then I didn't stop there. I made a pie. I wanted to show you what it looks like, a pie made from homegrown pumpkin that you put up yourself, not the ultra silky slick kind that's in the can. That makes a different kind of pie. And if you're not used to it, you might think something's wrong, but it's not. It's just there's a different texture to what you put up yourself. But I'm gonna tell you, the pie is So anyway, today is all about pumpkins. So let's turn around and get started putting them up. Okay, so I squirted them off outside with the hose pipe. These come from Holly. She must have cleaned hers a little bit better than I cleaned mine. But I'm going to give them all a good bath. See that? I don't need to bake that and then try to worry about getting my hands on it and getting it into the pumpkin itself. So I'm going to wash up every one of these really good. And I have a towel over here that I'm going to drain them on. So this is going to take me a while. I'll be back for the next step. Alrighty, here's what I got to work with. I ended up with 29 pumpkins. So I calculated, besides the ones that rotted on the vine, because we had some, you're not going to get everything. I've got 29 here, and I think I lost 8 between what Holly had and what I had that were just had started to rot. So anyway, this is what we're fixing to work on. So now we're going to go over here to the other side of the kitchen and start preparing these things. Okay, I'm going to get started with the pumpkins. Now I'm going to back this tripod up just a minute because I want to show you. I've learned of a way to get the stems off. And we're going to see together. I've not tried this. We're going to see together if it works. You're supposed to just be able to bang it on your corner of your counter and it come off. Oh my gosh, look at there. It works. Well, hot diggity dog. All right. Let's move you back up. Let's see. I'll try to leave you right there. Maybe you can see. So I'm just going to cut them in half if I can. There we go. And then I'm going to take this. You see there's more seed area in here than there is pumpkin. So this is not going to make a ton of pumpkin puree, but I think with the number of pumpkins I have, I think we'll be okay. So let me scoop this out. Ugh, that's a hard, there we go. I might need a pointier spoon. Let me get that. Let's see if this one will work a little bit better. Stuck to the strings. See, that's all pumpkins. That's not just these. Butternut squash too. Well, my goodness. I don't think I've ever had one be this hard to let loose. Okay, so if you heard my oven, I preheated it to 350. Which, as long as this is going to take, I probably could have waited. There we go. Okay, now I don't know if you can see over here, I've got a fall lined baking sheet. I tested my sheets and my racks before I even preheated it to see how many would fit. And I'm not going to be able to use all 3 racks because some of these pumpkins are so round, they're going to set up too high. So I had to take one of my racks out, but I positioned my baking sheets in there to see how many I could get. So I could get one of my big ones and 2 of my next biggest ones. Oh, well, anyway, you get the gist. Cut them in half. Knock the stem off, cut them in half. Take the seeds and the strings out. And I'm going to put them on the baking sheets, and then I'll come back after that. Okay, here's what I got. I'm going to try to do the tripod around. I ended up getting 13 pumpkins, and I picked the smallest ones and worked my way up. So I'm not going to get as many on my next batches because they're starting to get bigger. Now, let me move the tripod. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 2 smaller pans down here. This one's going to have to lean up on that one just a tad. Oh, I didn't know the pumpkins would be so close. Well, it's just going to have to work because they're going in there. And then this one up here. But what I do is, and this leaner one's going to be kind of tough. But every time I do pumpkins, and I've done plenty in my life, I've done jack-o'-lanterns. They say jack-o'-lanterns aren't good for pies, but I hate to tell you how many jack-o'-lantern pies I've eaten in my life. Listen, when you ain't got, you'll do what you will. But I like to put a little bit of water just to help steam and to maybe help keep them from sticking. Hold on. Now, if you're asking what I did with the pumpkin seeds, I know some of you are going to shudder. I'm throwing them away because we don't eat pumpkin seeds. I was telling David, I said, boy, if we did, we would have the mother load because I have got a ton. I'm on my second bowl almost full. And I've still got this many plus to go. Now I'm going to let this at 350 go. I'm going to start it at 30 minutes and check it. And the way I'll check it is I'll just stick in I'll show you when they're done what it's going to look like. How about that? Okay, you can see the steam coming out. That's not burning. That's from the water I put in it. So we're going to check It's been 30 minutes. I set the timer for 30 minutes. So I figured it'd take at least that long. So what did I do with my knife? Oh, hold on. Okay, we're going to poke them and see. Nope. Okay, I've got some here on the bottom that are ready. Let me get another pan. Hold on. Let me shut this up. Okay, let me check one more time. That can go a little bit more. These little cuts in them are not going to hurt them. Actually, that whole pan can go a little bit longer. I think these over here are the ones that were ready. Oh, you can't really tell, but these are going in very, very easily. So these are done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take them over here on this pan and turn them upside down. Hold on a minute. I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm just going to put them on here and put them upside down, or right side up, whatever, so they can start cooling, because I am not touching these things now to try to take the meat out. Actually, hold on. No, I think I want that. That went through the top pretty good, but when you turn it over and feel it, it's not exactly soft enough. Let me see. No. No, false alarm. They're going back in. But when they get through, that was 30 minutes. So I'm going to pop them back in there, and I don't know, I'll probably go in 10-minute increments. Okay, ignore the TV, but I want to show you what happens when you run out of water. I wasn't watching it good enough. See how it browns? And you see how it sticks? Now I'm going to have to cut that off before I can process it. These are the ones that are just not done, and these are the ones that are done. So I have put a new sheet of foil over here, and I'm going to pop these back in the oven. That was the ones that got done took 40 minutes. Now you can't tell by the size, because you see how small this one is, and it didn't get done, so you can't really go by that. So I'm gonna put this one back down there. I might put the ones on the top, on the bottom, switch the shelves, and see how that does. But I wanted to show you, don't let your water run out. Okay, I believe our first batch has cooled off enough to scoop out, but first let me get my bowl here. I gotta cut this brown off, because we don't want that in our pumpkin. See, it's real easy. Okay, now we should be able to easily just scoop out the flesh and have nothing left but the skin. That could have gone a little bit longer, but it'll blend up fine, because we put this through the food processor. So clean that shell thoroughly. You want all that pumpkin. And that's what you're left with, just an empty shell. Let's see. It's just got a little bit of brown. Yeah, that could have gone a little bit longer. But it's still scraping out, so it'll process fine. So what I'm going to do is, as they all come out, I'm going to put them in this bowl to cool off even more, because you don't want to put Alexa, stop. Oh, that's something else, I think. I think she might have thought I said 2 minutes instead of 10. Some of them have been in there now an hour, and they're still not done. So when you do this, plan on plenty of time. But you don't want to run, yeah, this one definitely could have gone longer. You don't want to run your food processor with your pumpkin hot because it'll build up too much steam. So anyway, I'm going to go through and get all this done, put it in this bowl, and then we'll come back for the next step. I got the first batch done. Now that was about 1 tray's worth. Oops, I see a piece of peeling. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run them through the food processor until it is just as smooth can be. And I will do this in real time so you can see about how long that will take. A lot of times when I'm doing little tedious things like this, I cut away and, fade back in. But you might want to see how long this takes. I'm not going to fill this up too full. So let me adjust my camera. I'm going to blend. I'm going to scrape it down on the sides. Oh, it's looking pretty good. See, this is why I like to see there's no water in that. When I first started doing pumpkins, gosh, 19 years ago in my 20s, I would peel them, which is a headache, and cube them up and ball them until they were done. Then you always had excess water, so you had a watery product. Then somewhere along the line, I found out pop them in the oven, and I've never looked back. So I think this is just about done. There we go. Let me adjust my camera again. Okay. I think this is ready. Well, I'm dropping everything over here. Let me take out the... Oh yeah, that's nice and smooth. No chunks. So this is your perfect substitution for a can of pumpkin. Look at that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all in this big bowl. I'm just going to keep going until the bowl's filled up, and then I'm going to bag it all at the same time. It'll just be easier than... And after I show you this, I'll just keep going until all my pumpkins are done. And then we'll be back to bag it. Oh, you know what? I forgot to weigh my pumpkins. I wanted to weigh my pumpkins. Shoot. I wanted to weigh my pumpkins before I started. Oh, well. I'm thinking there was 75 pounds minimum just from the weight of the bags. So, anyway, look here. Alexa, stop. This is what you get. Beautiful, thick pumpkin puree. Isn't that lovely? All right, so I'm going to continue on. Okay, here is all our pumpkin. I got that one, and I got that one, and they are super heavy. I haven't weighed them. You know what? I'm going to weigh these while I do this. Okay, here is our pumpkin. I want to weigh them. I don't know how much the bowls weigh, but we'll just take into account the bowls weigh. I don't know how much ever. But I forgot to weigh them before I cooked them. That is 16 pounds, 5 ounces. So we'll take away a pound for the bowl. I don't know if it weighs that much. 13 pounds, 15 ounces. So 30 pounds? Is that 30 pounds? 16 and 13 plus an ounce? I believe it is. So we're going to get started. Let's see, let's put that right there. Now what I did was, oh, I got mess on it. I sprayed my 1 cup measure and my funnel with some cooking spray, just maybe so it'll slide down in here a little bit easier. So I'm just going to put the funnel in my bag, and I just need 2 cups. Oh yeah, that does. And you see I'm not being, oh yeah, that worked great. You see that? So here is 2 cups of pumpkin. I have, this is my tray in the freezer that I'm going to use to put these. And if I can get this, listen, I do not recommend BJ's resealable bags because they are no good. I hate to admit it, but I bought them with a coupon, and I told David, I told him, I said, well, it's BJ's, so I'm sure they're as good as the regular. Boy, was I wrong. If I hadn't already used so many of them, I would take them back. So I don't recommend BJ's. See, I can't even get this to seal. Okay, I think I got it sealed. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Let me get that out of the way. I'm just going to put them flat like that and just start laying them in here to freeze. So, you know what? I got to do that to all this. And when I'm through, I will show you how many I got. All right, I am finished. So I couldn't get them all in my original basket. So I got that filled up, and I have these 2 plastic trays. So I got this one filled up, and I had to put some on the side, and this one filled up. And I'll probably just sit them stacked right in the freezer just like that. Now let me tell you how many I got. I got 23 of these 2 cups, which is 1 can. So I got 23 cans, and I got a 1 cup. Now, I did leave out 2 cups in the refrigerator because I'm going to make a pie tomorrow. I'm too tired to make it tonight. But I'm going to make a pie tomorrow. And that's what you're going to see next, is making the pumpkin pie with this beautiful pumpkin. So hang on. Now we're going to take advantage of some of the fruits of our labor. I have 2 cups of pumpkin in here. And I'm preheating my oven to 350 while we do this. So to that, I need 2 eggs. 3/4 cup of sugar. Let's go ahead and put our spices in. I need a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now you could substitute 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, but I'm going to make it my original way from, well, back when cavemen roamed the earth. Half a teaspoon of cloves. Whoops. Half a teaspoon of ginger. And that's it for the spices. Let's mix that a little bit before we add our milk. And I do suggest mixing it with a hand mixer or your stand mixer. I just think that it's better. This is 1 can of evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is the 12 ounce. Ooh, I'm spilling it too. And I don't suggest using regular milk. I suggest using canned milk. Just like it says. Let me rinse my hand off. Let me wipe that up because it'll drive me nuts. I am a clean as you go kind of cook. And I can't stand if something drips or if I leave it, it's driving me crazy. Because I got to have it up. Let me put that in my drawer. Now we're going to blend this really, really well. Alright, now we're going to pour it into a deep dish crust or 2 regular. I'm choosing to go deep dish today. Ooh. Oh, it's coming over. I had a little bit, I think this must be a smaller crust than the typical deep dish because I've used deep dish forever and they always fit. So I'm calling, this is Marie Callender's. If you use a deep dish, I suggest don't use Marie Callender's because it's apparently smaller. I'm going to put that little bit in something and microwave it. Have me a little no crust pudding or whatever. Okay, I hope that stays there till we get in the oven. We're going to bake this at 350 for about 45 minutes or until it's set. Well, it took 1 hour and 15 minutes. You can see it's set. It puffed up. It will sink down as it cools, and then I'm going to pop it in the fridge and let it set up, and I'll show you how it looks when you make it with, I hate to say real pumpkin because canned pumpkin is real pumpkin. When you make home pumpkin, so it's not that smooth as it is in the can. I'll show you the texture of it once it gets cooled and set up. Okay, so I think it's set in the, you can see how it went down. And I think it's set in the refrigerator and chilled enough to where it's going to be set up when I cut it. And like I was saying, let's see, I don't want to get that part there. It's different when it's like homegrown pumpkins as opposed to the can. I hope I got that crust. But you'll see. Oh, the crust is breaking. Hold on. I think the crust is breaking. It is. Isn't that lovely? I want to have a nice pretty piece for y'all, but the crust is breaking under me. See? If the crust hadn't fell apart, the pie wouldn't have fell apart. Maybe I can get a piece out for the picture, but anyway, you can see the texture. It has the texture of the pumpkin that we made. But here. Absolutely delicious. So there you have it. There is our pumpkin pie with our homegrown pumpkins, and it's delicious. And if you make this pumpkin pie, like I said, you can just use 1 can of pumpkin if you don't have any homegrown. So that will do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Not sure when I'll see you, so I'll see you when I see you.